2023 presidency, be wary of Osinbajo's ambition. He is trying to retain immunity to avoid persecution. Arewa group tells Nigerians. Welcome to the news and please subscribe to our channel. The coalition alleged that Osinbajo will be contesting for president to continue enjoying immunity against persecution after 2023. A coalition of Arewa civil society groups have warned the ruling All Progressive Congress APC and Nigerians to be wary of the presidential aspiration of Vice President Osinbajo. The coalition alleged that Osinbajo would be contesting for president to continue enjoying immunity against persecution after 2023. Though Osinbajo has not publicly declared his intention to run for president, there have been indication that he intends to join the race for the office in 2023. During a press briefing in Abuja on Sunday, the convener of the group, Comrade Musa Atta, alleged that the vice president mismanaged funds under his control in office. He alleged that funds for the various intervention programs, the Empower program, conditional cash transfer program, government enterprise, and empowerment program, among others, were all mismanaged by Vice President, causing President Muhammad's Buhari administration to create the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management, and Social Development to handle such. Atta further described Osinbajo's presidential ambition as an insult to the sensibilities of Nigerians and a means of escape from prosecution for the corruption allegation against him. The statement reads, "The leadership of the coalition of Arewa civil society groups welcomes you all to this significant press conference, which has become a child of necessity, given the recent clamor for the Vice President Osinbajo to vie for the political office in the country, for the highest political office in the country. As a group representing the vast interests of critical stakeholders in northern Nigeria and some part of the country, we are constrained to lend our voice to an ambition we consider misplaced and against the interests of the generality of Nigerians in our quest for sustainable growth and development. The presidential aspiration of Vice President Osinbajo does not suit the purpose given his track record in mismanagement of the various social intervention programs of the federal government hitherto domiciled in his office before the creation of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management, and Social Development. It is instructive to ask questions about how Vice President Osinbajo managed the social investment programs NSIP intended to tackle poverty and hunger across the country. For the record, the suite of programs under the NSIP focuses on ensuring a more equitable distribution of resources to vulnerable populations, including children, youth, and women, under the supervision of the Office of the Vice President. The Empower program, conditional cash transfer program, government enterprise and empowerment program, the homegrown school feeding program, and the trader money empowerment scheme were all intended to bring succor to the vulnerable groups in the country. Therefore, it is curious how such laudable initiatives were mismanaged by the office of the Vice President, which warranted the President to create a new ministry and transfer the responsibility of managing these programs to the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management, and Social Development. What Nigerians might be aware of is that under the supervision of Vice President Osinbajo, the National Social Intervention Program becomes an avenue for corrupt enrichment by the Vice President and his cronies. The diverted funds meant for the vulnerable groups to private pockets. The haste commitment by the Vice President and his cronies in implementing the program is quite despicable and a shame, given the multitude of evidence pointing to gross mismanagement and abuse of office. Therefore, it is unimaginable for the Vice President to indicate interest to rule this country. The implication of Osinbajo's presidency in Nigeria is that the country's resources will be diverted to private pockets, most brazenly, as we saw in the NSIP. It therefore amounts to an insult to the sensibilities of Nigerians for Vice President Osinbajo to want to lead Nigeria. He lacks morals and uprightness, as evident in his corrupt tendencies and lack of sincerity of heart and purpose. At this point, we attempted to state in unequivocal terms that attempt by Vice President Osinbajo to seek the highest political office in the country is an attempt to shield himself from the proof after the expiration of his immunity. It is very shameful that people go to school to be learning to just to come out to be this cunning. Like, I don't understand. I am not standing for anybody. I'm not saying Mr. Vice President Osinbajo should not, should not be probed. But I'm saying, is it not really appalling and disturbing that you went to school just to come out to speak big grammar to just deceive people? As in, is it not wasted? They wasted the effort. Nothing. There is nothing that this group have said that has been making, as in that I don't think that Nigerians will stand in support of. So you are saying Mr. Osinbajo should be prosecuted. What about your brother? What about you people think Nigerians are fools? I'm sorry. Maybe the previous Nigerians, maybe they were too soft. But this ones, they are called the coconut head generation. Like, just listen to what these people are saying. They should not allow the vice president to, imagine as I was reading it, I was like, kilo day. Prosecution for what offense? Have you prosecuted all the known looters and those who brought all the current evil on the nation? People that you see every day and know too well. Osinbajo may not be active and strong or vocal in condemning all the vices of his administration, probably because of his position, but I believe he's honest, sincere, and an incorrupt human being. Well, I'm not going to be standing for anybody, but all I'm saying is that, say you go to school, come outside, make you just the cunning. To me, is a waste, as in it's a waste of education. It's a total waste. Northern leaders who are destroying Nigeria are behind this. Buhari runs everything in this government without Osinbajo. Thank you. The only man this man gets to breathe a little or get to show himself a little is when this man is not in the country. If you notice, there was a certain time, I think in 2015 or 2016, I can't really say, between 2015 and 2018, between the first tenure, that Mr. President traveled out of the country. And he properly, in writing, handed over. He delegated his pass to the vice president for him to perform some duties. I bet you that period Nigerians were smiling. There are a lot of things that were taken cheap until he came back again and things went haywire. Things went haywire. This kind of game and describe Arewa group will display on the Osinbajo will shock his ancestors. Arewa group and common sense are keeping malice. Osinbajo has nothing to hide. A righteous man fears no accusation. I repeat, I'm not standing up for anybody, but I'm just saying. Arewa, instead of concentrating on how to solve insecurity issues that have bedwetted the zone, they left it and started talking about that thing. Exactly. These people are blind. They can remove another person's split of wood in the person, but their own log that they are carrying up and down, they cannot see. On this note, we have come to the end of the news. We say thank you for tuning in to listen. Until I come here next time, enjoy the rest of your day.